Hello, good morning. My name is Teacher Mark from room number 6. This is assignment 2, session 2, a reflection of a midterm preparation. Topics are admiration and how to receive attention. So, 2 units. Grade level is grade level 12 or M6 ESL students. Period length is 50 minutes. Student profiles, they're typically a little bit on the quiet side. They'd rather be lectured to than participate, so trying to implement some icebreakers amongst other things. Feedback from my colleague was good, and let's get at it. Goal for the lesson today is to prepare students for the midterm exam by reviewing vocabulary, grammar, reading comprehension, as well as basic essay structure. Hello, good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Sorry. Today we'll be reviewing for the midterm. We'll be focusing on 3 different parts: vocabulary, grammar, reading, and writing, and covering units 1, which is what makes a person admirable, and 2 is how do marketers gain our attention. But today, we're going to try something new. It's called My Admiration Bingo. Here you see a list of phrases such as someone who is thoughtful, someone who is very patient, someone who is very kind, someone who is very optimistic, somebody is humble, somebody who is a good listener, somebody who is honest, and in the middle is a free space, someone who shows empathy, someone who is generous, someone who shows courage, someone who is resourceful, someone who is hardworking, someone who is creative, and somebody who is responsible. Not going to do it in a conventional sense, the bingo game, but can anybody name a person that is a good listener? Okay, well, yeah, our younger brothers and sisters are good listeners because they respect us, they admire us. Good. Can you name somebody who is courageous? Yeah, somebody like your mother or father would be considered courageous. Patient? Anybody? Well, maybe your teacher or possibly your grandparents would be somebody who is very patient. But the point we're trying to get at is there is actually a link between Units 1 and Units 2 that admirable people can also have jobs, and we implement traits, trustworthiness, being authentic, being successful, advocating values are all traits that we try to implement into our careers. Any questions? All right. Well, good time to take attendance. 6/1, Coco. Okay. OT. Okay. Nurin. Okay. And shampoo. All right. So looks like we have 100% today. Anybody have any thoughts about the game, the bingo game? So remember your writing topic will be based on units 1 and 2. So looking at the two titles, it'll be about somebody who is admirable or possible marketing strategy, and we'll discuss that in section 4. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's take a look at section 2. Section 2 involves vocabulary. Today we'll be discussing 4 words: achievement, everybody, authenticity, diverse, distinct, and insight. Can anybody give me a good definition of achievements? Okay, good. Everybody is looking forward to getting their high school diploma, which is a achievement. All right. Achievement is hopefully for everybody to get a good grade from this class. But these are pivotal points. It's not just the long term solution, but they're small goals in life. These are achievements. Authenticity. Everybody, authenticity. Okay. Using the same word is to be authentic or to be genuine is authenticity. So when you meet somebody who cares about what they do, what they say, they try to be real. So the opposite of fake. This is authenticity. Any questions? All right. Diverse. Diverse. Any definitions? Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, there's a diverse or eclectic group of people in this class, and we understand people as individuals. So there's a wide variety. In other words, is a diverse group. Can you use this in a sentence? Diverse. Okay, very good. There are a diverse group of people in this class. There are boys, there's girls, there's rich, there's poor people, smart and not so smart people, but this is what makes people unique is the diversity. Distinction or distinct. Okay. Any definitions? Well, this is just the opposite. That's rather being general, but when we want to talk about something that is precise, we talked about something that is distinct. So when you look at somebody, oftentimes we focus on their nose or their eyes or their smile. These are distinct traits about a human's face. Markings on an animal, so a cat or a dog, so the colorations. These are different distinctions. So Snoopy has a distinct patch of black on his fur, so you could tell him the difference between he and another dog. Last word is insight. Insight. Anybody have a good definition for insight? Very good. Insight has a meaning. It has a person has a better understanding or um, something greater. So maybe a tutor, a teacher, an elder, somebody that you respect has higher knowledge about someone or something is different kind of insight. I want you to go over the words, and of these 4 or 40 words, I'll be choosing approximately 10 to 15 of these words. So I suggest that you understand the meaning and try to use them in sentences. Let me write this on the board. I admire somebody who shows blank because blank. Okay. This is a little bit more complicated than it'll be on the test, but I admire somebody who shows pride uh, because they understand diversity is a fact of life. I admire somebody who shows authenticity um, because they are genuine. But for our tests, our level, it'll replicate something that's inside the book. So sentences will be between roughly 7 to 10 words, and it'll be fill in the blank A, B, C, and D. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them now, or you can direct message me through Line Messenger between now and the exam, and I'll be happy to help you. Section 3, which is the grammar section, um, covering two parts, restrictive relative clauses, as well as definite and indefinite articles such as a, and, the, or none. So the first one, let's cover those restrictive relative clauses, the who, whom, that, and those are the four basic ones. So here's an example. I admire people who stay humble. So the clause here is who, stay humble. Who describes staying humble. Let me write these on the board for you. I admire somebody who, I follow people whose, I respect ideas that. Okay, so take a minute to write down your answer and let's discuss them. So the first one, I admire a person who is humble. Okay, I admire a person who knows where they come from, or they like to help other people because they know that it's not easy. This is a humble person. Two, I follow people whose interests are similar to my own. It's probably a good thing to find people that have like qualities, but they don't necessarily have to be exact. Okay? So, best word for this one is whose. So, I follow people whose values are similar to my own. Three, I respect ideas that are based on fact. I respect ideas that are based on facts. Okay? In this case, the restrictive relative clause is that. And that is probably the most common restrictive relative clause that's used nowadays. And the least common restrictive relative clause, can anybody take a guess? Is whom. HOWM. Okay? You've probably seen this on applications to whom it may concern. Um, whom refers to somebody that you don't know yet, but it often occurs in a formal situation. Formal situation, and so we rarely hear about these. Take a look inside your line inbox because I've sent you a grammar section for both the restrictive relative clauses and the definite and indefinite articles. And at the bottom on the following page is an answer key. Any questions about restrictive relative clauses? Okay, let's take a look at the articles a, and, the, or none. Okay, basic rules are as follow, and here are two examples. He is an advocate for change. He is an advocate for change. 2. The message was clear and powerful. The message was clear and powerful. Okay. Can anybody identify the article in the first sentence? Oh, well, that's true. When do we use a, class? We use a when the following sound is a vowel sound, such as an apple, an owl, an aardvark. Situation 2, an, an, is followed by a word that usually is a consonant sound, such as uh, let's see, got that mixed up. Let's start again. Uh, a, we use a when there is a consonant. We use an when there is a vowel. We use the when we talk about something that is specific, unique, or already known. We went over this before, so let me write this on the board. I saw a dog at the park. Everybody, I saw a dog at the park. Okay, a, and the dog is a consonant, so we would use a. Second sentence, the dog chased the ball in the park. The dog chased the ball in the park. Pay attention to the articles. They change from a to the. Why is this the case? Ah, clever. Very good. Uh, the second situation, we change from a dog to the dog. The dog is familiar and it's unique, and we already know about the dog, so it becomes the dog chased the ball. Okay, and there's obviously situations where we don't need an article. So let's take a minute to fill in these blanks. And on the overhead projector, you can see there are 4 sentences, and just fill in the blank. He is blank advocate for change. Anybody? He is an advocate. An advocate. Remember, an, and then we have a vowel sounding word. 2. Blank insight helped the company grow. Blank insight helped the company grow. Anybody? The insight helped the company grow is correct. That would be the first choice. But if this was a casual situation, would insight help the company grow? Possibly. And this is probably the way that I would typically hear it. Insight helped the company grow. Okay. So you can use the, or you don't necessarily need an article. 3. I saw blank ads that used humor. I saw blank ad that used humor. Okay, the article is and. Okay, remember and then there's a vowel sound. So I saw an ad that used humor. All right, good job. Fourth one, blank campaign aligned with young people's values. Blank campaign aligned with young people's values. Okay, yeah, that one was too easy. The campaign aligned with young people's values. So we can use the campaign aligned with people's values. Good question. Can we just use no article? Campaign aligned with young people's values. That's a little bit awkward. I would lean towards still using the article for this one. So for this one, yeah, we'll have to stick with the. And any questions about the definite and indefinite articles before we move on? Once again, check in your inbox, and there's a page of grammar questions similar to that I was on the test, and fill them out. And actually, I received feedback from students about this handout, and they had plenty of questions, and I was able to answer them through Line Messenger. So this was a good facility or a good way to get feedback. Students were a little bit shy to talk, but through Line Messenger, they talk quite frequently. Okay. The fourth part is the reading and comprehension or a short story. And the short story is about a quiet leader. In a small town, there was a student named Lena who was known for her kindness and honesty. Unlike some students who tried to be popular by showing off, Lena quietly helped others without expecting anything in return. She was the kind of person who listens carefully when friends have problems and always offers honest advice. One day, the school faced a problem. The library was old and needed repairs. Lena didn't have a loud voice, but she became an advocate for improving the library. She talked to teachers and organized a group of students who shared her passion. Thanks to her effort, the school raised enough money to fix the library. Lena never wanted attention, but her humility and dedication made her a natural leader. People admired her not because she shouted the loudest, but because she was authentic and cared deeply about her community. Class, what kind of person is Lena? Anybody? Well, Lena is a generous person. She's also caring. Good. Um, yeah, she liked the people that she was working with, and we call that person an advocate. Okay, so it sounds like everybody kind of has a good idea what's going on inside the reading section. Very similar to the test, it'll be in this format, multiple choice, A, B, C, D. What admirable qualities does Lena show? Laziness, kindness and honesty, impatience, or arrogance? Okay, this one was pretty easy because number letters A, C, and D are negative, But B is the correct one. She offers kindness and honesty. 2. How did Lena help improve the school? A. By showing off her skills. B. By organizing students who wanted to fix the library. C. By ignoring the problem. Or D. By complaining loudly to the teachers. All right. This case, it's letter B. Well, A was close by showing off her skills, but yeah, I think the better answer would have been A, by showing students who wanted to fix the library, because it's an investment in our community. 3. What does the word advocate mean in the passage? The word is advocate. An advocate is A, someone who argues with others. B, someone who supports a cause. C, someone who is quiet and shy. Or D, someone who avoids responsibility. Very good, Coco. Letter B, someone who supports a cause is an advocate. So I, as well as your parents, are all advocates for you to learn as much as you can while you're at Harwong School. Okay? 4. Why did people admire Lena? A. Because she was popular. B. Because she was the loudest. C. Because she cared sincerely and worked hard. Or D. Because she won awards. Okay, great job. Letter C is in cat. Because she cared sincerely and worked hard. And so it's funny that you bring this up, or this article brings this up, because your teacher is also taking a class, and we're going through these things called PLCs, and we're doing lessons and giving the results, or giving, sharing what we're learning with somebody to observe us, and they're giving us some feedback. And teachers are sincerely trying to improve our styles of teaching to become better so that we can assist you to become better learners. Okay? So, growing does not stop when you're finished being a student. Teachers, too, are learning every day. All right. So, before we move on, can anybody explain what is a volunteer? Who is a volunteer? So that'll be a hint. Okay, well, that's close. Volunteer is a person who does something and they do not seek praise. Okay, so they do not get a salary or compensation. They do this for free. So many of you joined the boys' military training, Porocha, and you volunteered to help Thailand for 2 years of your life. And yeah, it's to provide national security for Thailand. And so you volunteered to do this so you can avoid being drafted in the future. Any questions about the short story? Okay, well, we're running a little bit short on time, but let's cover the essay part. So remember that all of this information above are multiple choice, and that accounts for 20 points. But this is section 5, which is actually my expertise, which is essay writing, and this is 10 points. So 10 points plus the 20 points will make 30 points, and so this is worth one third of your grade. So I think you should spend as much time to get a good grade on writing an essay. What are the expectations? Well, you'll have to write 3 paragraphs, and the 3 paragraphs, which should include what? Okay, good. Should include an introduction. An introduction should include what? A hook, as well as a thesis, such as not all heroes wear capes. I admire my older brother not because he helps others, but because he is honest. Second part is a body paragraph which tells a story or gives an example to support the thesis statement. We use a such as he is someone who gives advice with insights. Remember that part? The relative clause, who? So he is someone who gives advice with insight. Writers get better over time. It's not something that we were born to do, but with repetition and proper guidance, we all become better writers. And so we're in this for the long haul. And the last part is a conclusion. All right, so it's your job to rephrase the main point or the thesis statement. So, example, that's why I admire her. She doesn't need attention to make an impact. Okay, so it's your job to wrap things up or rephrase the thesis statement. And I'm roughly looking for about a half page, maybe a full page. All right, but once again, this is worth 10 points. If possible, you can include vocabulary words, any information about grammar. Those would be pluses. And I forgot one important part. Teacher believes in titles. Titles. Titles important. Why are titles important, class? Okay. Titles entice people to read further. Titles give the reader a glimpse into what the reader is going to discuss. Good question. I will be giving you topics, but the topic is different from the title. Okay, you'll get a title based on your feelings or your beliefs on the topic. So your title will be different from another student's title, and this will be in reference to units 1 and 2. And just looking a little bit ahead, we'll be upon your return. We'll be starting unit number 3. Unit number 3 is developmental psychology. What important lessons do we learn as young people? What important lessons do we learn as young people? So keep this in mind. You're a young person, and I wish you luck. And I'll see you on Monday when you come back from your short vacation. Thank you, and have a good day.